Well, hi, thanks for joining me here on the night shift in my shop for another step forward with this radio. What I'm hoping to do tonight is change all the capacitors that are related to the audio part of the radio. So the first thing I want to do though is listen to this audio part and see what it sounds like. Last video I discovered a couple of the radio tubes were bad. I discovered a little bit of a, well, let's say one of the output tubes is right on the line for replacement, supposing according to my tube tester, and the other one seems to be okay. So it's probably fine for the radio, but maybe we'll find something out about that too by testing it. So when I test it, I'm going to use a signal generator to produce the tones. Then I'm going to change the capacitors and we'll listen to it again with the same signals from the signal generator, see if it sounds any different. That's my cat whining away in the background. Okay, cat. Let's just make sure everything's okay here. Okay. Let it warm up. Now, I don't know how high to turn the signal generator input. Find that out once we get going here. But this input I'm using is designed for a record player. This is the signal generator here. Let's see now. How do I know when it's turned on to phono? Good question. There we are. I hear something. So I think that's 360 hertz there. You're hearing. This is a tone control. That's full volume. So we're going to turn this up a little bit. For instance, put this at the normal volume level. There we are. The output from the signal generator is quite low actually. Very good. Now we're going to make the signal generator sweep upwards. Let me just make it go start lower. Prop up the speaker a little more. Can't expect very good response at the low end with a speaker that's out of its cabinet. That's what we got to work with. Okay, let's let this go up. Should take about a second to go up. Good. Didn't hear anything unusual at all. Let's give it a real low bass note and just see if we can make the speaker. Now it does have a little tear in it that I haven't repaired yet. I think it had a tear in it. Maybe I'm thinking of another speaker. So there we go. That's pretty low. Pretty good. I think it's working just fine. I don't think changing the capacitor is going to make too much difference. Maybe on output level. So the volume is right down to nothing. We hear that. Very quiet. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to accurately compare before and after with volume level. So we're not going to sweat over that. But that's what it sounds like with that level coming at it with the volume set to minimum. Maybe after I do the capacitors it'll be a little bit louder. with the volume still set to minimum. Okay, no real problems apparent here. So the capacitors I'll be working on are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not sure about that one. I'm going to change all those and then we'll just see what happens. Okay, so far I've changed out 5. I think there's a couple more left in there. Here's the 5 of them. And we're going to give them a test. So again, this tests the capacitor's ability basically to withstand electricity. I guess we could put it that way. No electricity should flow through this. And if any does, the eye here won't open like that. So 50 volts, open right up, 150, 250, can you believe it? So at 250 it's a little questionable. So that's actually not a bad operating capacitor. Yeah. Okay, let's try another one. This was probably why the radio worked to some degree once I got the bad tubes out of it. Okay, here we go. This one here. 50 volts. Okay, 150 it starts showing its weakness. Or leakiness, that's really what it is. Okay, here goes another one. 50 volts. 250. Wow, is this really hooked up? Look at that, it's all sunk in there. This is supposed to be good. 0.01. 0.01, eh? Let's test it, see if it's a 0.01. Okay, on this scale. Now this time the eye works the other way around. Turn this until the eye pops open. See a little bit here. Okay, and this rate here measuring is that's 0.01. That's 0.02. It's measuring just under 0.02 and it's supposed to be a 0.01. 0.015. Gee. Okay, so it measured its correct amount too. I'm very surprised about these. Not nearly as bad as I would expect. And look at this one now. The end is popped. Feels dry. Typically, radios of this age, all these capacitors would fail on 50 volts. But you never know. This one's led a good life. It's been indoors and taken care of, I guess. Here we go. Right open. Not so good at 150. $50. 150. 250. Wow. Not going to go any higher with it. You never know. You just never know. So well worth replacing. Well worth getting rid of. They're only going downhill from where they are. These ones I'm putting in are going to be good for 100 years to come. Okay, let's try this out. See how we are. Okay, I've got the dim bulbs in. There they go. Looks good. Now the test was kind of strange. Volume minimum. Hearing how much comes out of the speaker. change the tone control capacitors there. About the same volume level, I'd say. Yeah, you wouldn't expect a big pop turning this. They designed the radio so it doesn't do that. So that charge must have just been in the capacitor. I don't know where it would have come from. Hear a little change there. Okay, I think that's good for now. I'm going to call an end to the night shift here. Well, wait a minute. Let's not do that. Let's not be so hasty here, Jim. The night is still young. Let's just take a look. How many we've got left here. So I've done that, and that. And this. Wait, where are you going? Almost lost my tripod there. We have, so where does it change from radio to audio? So these two are certainly radio ones. It's hard to say just looking at it. That's probably a radio capacitor. What's with this one? I gotta look into this one. Find out what that actually is. Okay, let me check that out. Okay, I'm going to do two more. I'm going to do this one and this one. These two are doing the same job with two different tubes. It's the output tube and an output tube. This is from the plate to ground. Plate to ground. Well, they're two different types of capacitors. This one's an oddball, you know, which one is not like the others. This one. I wonder if this was replaced on a repair. 0.005 is what they are. Okay, I'm going to replace those two. Okay, those two are done. I'm going to do one more because I'm pretty sure this one is the audio one going from the detector tube into the output tube. So the detector tube having a triode in it. So we're going to do this one too. Another 0.05. Okay, 3 more to test. My tripod keeps wanting to collapse here. Okay, this one first. Ooh, a lot of green in there. Sometimes these materials have volatile gases that come off it that are corrosive over a long period of time. Something got at the copper in here. So like green, these sulfur compounds in the plastic or something like that. Here we go, 50 volts. You are good. 150. You're good. 250. Well, 250 was that guy's comparative rating, I guess we could say. So these are among the best testing old capacitors, even though they're not testing great. I mean, they're not testing like new. Halfway on 150. Again, I think it's reflective of the console being taken good care of. Maybe in air-conditioned houses or wherever it's been. It hasn't been in a damp basement. It hasn't been stored in a garage. Even that one opens all the way pretty well. Well, okay, they're not the worst capacitors in the world, and again, that's why, if you notice, when we did the audio test, it seemed to be okay. This time we'll find out if I think if any of the capacitors were going to change the volume, I don't think any were, because their condition is too good. It would have been this one I did right in here, which I'm pretty sure is carrying the audio from the detector, from the triode in the detector tube, to state it properly. Okay, the switch is off. Power goes in. I gotta put in the input here. Okay. And bulb's good. There it is. If anything, it's quieter. My imagination says it goes to higher pitches now. Really? No, that's not going to do it. It's 10 to 15. So this is going to start around 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But 7, I can't hear it anymore. Seven's pretty good for a radio like this and a great big speaker like that. That's going to sound great, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so did we make any difference? This is the minimum volume setting. I'm not sure it made any real operating difference at this point. It's hard to say. Maybe a little higher in tone capability. Good. Okay. So tomorrow night on the night shift, I'll take care of the rest of the paper capacitors and we'll look at doing the alignment on it. Very good. Thanks a lot for watching.